Gang, you know the drilling. How to Airbnb your apartment, your house, or an extra space that you might have in your room right now. Let's dive into it. You know the deal after this intro. Let's go. Gang, thanks for sticking around. Okay, let's dive right into it and get to the keys that you need to make sure that you are cash flowing right now on your house, or that extra room, or that space that you might have in your apartment. Well, there's three things that you might be going on right now. You might have a home and you want to Airbnb the entire home. You might have an additional room or an extra space in your apartment or something of that nature. So let's dive into how this can benefit you and how this model can benefit you right now. So let's go into it. Number one thing is research. Research. Let's see if people even want a rental in your space before we dive in and start buying furniture and buying things that we might not need if somebody does not want it. So that's the initial thing we need to do, is research if people even want it. You can go on Airbnb and just do a simple search in your area. Say, for example, you're in Charleston, South Carolina. Just do Airbnb in Charleston, South Carolina, and see if people are looking for rentals of that. You can even dive a little deeper and use a source that I use for all my rentals, and it's called airdna.co. I'm a super advocate of it, of airdna.co. It has saved me a ton of money and time, okay? And it lets you know in detail how much you'll possibly make, what's the occupancy rates, what exactly are potential guests looking for, and to top it off, the key to AirDNA is to see if this will even make sense for what you're trying to do for that simple search, okay? Another thing you want to research is your local area to see if this is actually legal. Can you do Airbnb in your area? Is Airbnb allowed? Just do a simple Google search, short-term rental laws in X area, and you'll be able to find a lot of info. You do not need to hire people or think too deep or to get inside your mind where you don't take action. Okay. The second thing that we need to look at is the essentials that are inside of the room. So dive into the essentials that are inside the room, that being the bedding, the pillows. You want to make it a hotel feeling when they step into the building. You want to have a hairdryer accessible. You want to have an iron, maybe little things you overlook, like having an additional charger there, the iPhone and Android chargers, having those there for your guests, having it clean, absolutely pristine. A lot of whites are always best, and a simple headboard, okay, to give it that hotel feel, okay, so that they're comfortable. And essentially what happens, what we've had with units we've managed with people who had existing homes, is that a lot of people extend their stay. So a lot of people extend their stay when they're doing the short-term rental business. So that's one thing you want to do, is you want to make sure that it's the most hotel feeling when you're there, okay, or when the guests can arrive, and having all those essentials there. I'm gonna tell you right now, one of the biggest things, by making sure that you get booked, you've done all this research, now you have all the essentials inside your room, your space, and you know it's gonna work because you've done your research and all that good stuff. Now, what you need is pictures. Pictures do the selling. I'm gonna tell you now, do not try to take pictures with your iPhone or your Android because you have some super megapixel camera, or you might have an additional camera laying around. Guess what? Airbnb does it for you. It's a service they offer, that they offer to people who list their place. And if for any reason there's a new guest that wants to look at your place, Airbnb has a seal of approval that they've seen this place, which gives you even that extra boost. And guess what? I even believe it helps out with your search rankings because they've taken the pictures themselves. So that's another gig that will really help you out, is they actually show you more because you've used their photography service. And all it costs is a booking. That's it. Literally, they take it out of your first or second or third booking, and that's it. It's pretty much a free service, okay? And it's absolutely incredible. And not just that, it helps out with your search rankings. If for any reason they don't have it in your area where they offer that service for a photographer, just do a simple Craigslist ad for $3 to $5 and say, I'm looking for a photographer to take some pictures of my home. and all they could do is send you a couple shots of pictures to see their work. Usually you want to look for real estate photographers, and they're super easy to find. Just type in real estate photographers on Craigslist, run an ad for $3 to $5, say I'm looking for a real estate photographer, and I'm pretty sure you'll have a ton of people who reach out to you. So pictures do the selling. Another thing you want to consider is once you have the pictures and everything's done, you want to have a great description of the place, okay? You want to have an amazing description. The way I use my descriptions is I just use somebody else's description and just make it my own off of other areas throughout the United States. I found some descriptions in Miami for my beachfront houses, and I just used theirs, made it my own, and that's what you can do. So if you have a quaint, quiet place overlooking the mountains, just look for places you think mountains are at in a different area, not in your area, and just use their description and just make it your own. That's what I've done, and it works exceptional. Also, what you want to do is the headline has to be just absolutely beautiful. You have to make sure it explains where it's at, why they need to book, and and so pretty much it could be like this here. Luxurious sky rise, 3 minutes from Papas and Beer, right? Because I'm in Mexico. I have a luxurious beachfront penthouse, 6 minutes from Papas and Beer, which is a huge venue for concerts here in Mexico. So that's just an example you can use. Another thing is key exchange. How will the guests get their keys? Let me tell you, one of the biggest headaches that I've dealt with this business is key exchange. When I first started this business, guess what? I used to hand the keys to people. People would show up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I have a newborn son. He'd be screaming his lungs out. Don't do that. Use a lockbox, or you can use a key cafe, or you can use a particular thing called Guesty, which they'll hand the keys to the person and all that good stuff. But lockboxes work great. Key cafe works great, but I always recommend using something that works for you. And that completely automates the task for the guests wanting to check in when they want to check in, and the same process with that checkout. There are so many other tools that you need, like automation tools that I have used in this process that have saved me a ton of time and a ton of money. That's for another conversation, but this guide will potentially help you out. And just make sure there's another key to success here is when you're booking your place. Please respect your guests. Okay, I understand they're in your home. I understand they're in your place of being. Please act as if these are your family members that you love. Do not treat these people like they are some side project, or they're just up there in my space. Don't be that person. I want you to share this portion of this entire video with people. Don't treat people terrible. Treat people great. I find it so amazing. I see these reviews on Airbnb. Some of the guests that we deal with that write us personal notes about the places that they've stayed at, treat them some particular way, like you're just a person in my home type of deal. I don't know where I come from. I've always known to love rather than to hate or to have this discredit of people. Love people. Love your guests. They are paying you. They are helping you, okay? And if they do make a mistake by putting their music too loud, if they do make a mistake by leaving a towel out, it's all right. You're learning. Everything you're doing is for a learning opportunity. If this video has served you well, you know the deal. Hit that subscribe, smash that like, share this with your friends and family, and be great to your guests. And hey, be great to yourself. In and out. Bang.